today we're going to finish up by adding a speech bubble and some eye shine. So first of all, you want to think about what your character is saying or thinking, and then you're going to go back into Illustrator. And I already opened up my trace file, and I have that here. And I'm just going to turn off the visibility of my star layer, and I'll lock that layer, and then I'm going to add a new layer, and I'll call that speech bubble. There's several ways to do a speech bubble. You can make it a thought bubble instead of a speech bubble, and I'll show you several ways here. So you're going to activate your brush tool, and instead of white, let's make this black. So to do that, an easy way to do that is to click on your default black and white here, and then turn the fill off. So we just have a black stroke. Open up your brush panel, and we want this to be fairly thick, so I think I'll use the clothing outline stroke for this. So you could do it this way, where you start with your bubble. Don't worry about going off of your artboard here, and then you could do a little loop like that. So you could do something like that. You could also do your bubble, and you could do some smaller circles coming off of it. That would be a thought bubble. And if you want to make this a speech bubble, you can grab these and connect them. Maybe even fit another one in there, a smaller one. Remember, when you're moving these objects, you need to grab it by the path, not in the center. Some of you are having trouble with that. But remember, there's no pixels here, so you have to grab by the path. And then you're going to grab all of your bubbles here, and you want to open the Pathfinder. And you want to use the first little icon here, which is Unite. Okay, and so that will create just one object. You can also use your direct selection tool to adjust this. So like, I don't like the way it didn't close right there, so I could adjust that to make it closed and open this up a little bit more. Okay, so that's another option that you have with that. Okay, so however you want to do that. So I think that I am going to use my original, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to make it a thought bubble. So let me go back a couple steps. Remember, in Illustrator, you can Command Z as many times as you'd like to, and it'll keep going back in time. Okay, so I'll make it a thought bubble like that. All right, then I am going to grab all of the objects to my thought bubble. I'm going to Command C, go back into Photoshop, and Command V. And I'll just go ahead and paste this as pixels, since I know I'm about the size that I need. I won't be doing too much adjusting. And grab that and place it. It's okay, by the way, if your bubble is coming somewhat off of your page. That creates some interest, and so it's okay to do that. And go to my layer, and I will name this thought bubble. You can name your speech bubble if you have the closed bubbles or the hook coming down, so if it's an actual speech. And then I'm going to go to white and dump white inside each of these little bubbles. All right, so there is my thought bubble. Next, I'm going to activate my type tool, and I want this to be black. And you could actually use Comic Sans for this, since technically this is a comic character. So this would actually be an appropriate use of Comic Sans. So if Comic Sans is something that you like and you don't get to use it very often, this would be a good choice for that. There is another font that I like, and it's called Janda Everyday Casual. And that one works really well for this as well. I'm also going to put this on cap locks and then center this, and then just start typing in what I want her to say. She looks like she's contemplating something, so looks like she has a question about something. So I think I'm going to have her thinking, should I go? Maybe she's thinking about going to a dance or a party or someplace to meet up with her friends. I'm not sure, but looks like she's thinking about something like that. So I'll have her thinking, should I go? And then I have that centered and sized. And you don't want your text too close to the edges of your bubble, and definitely not too close to the edge of your composition here. Okay, so that looks good, and I'm happy with that. And I'm going to do one more thing with her. I'm going to add a layer, and I'll call this Eye Shine. And I'm going to make this an optional step. This really brings your character to life, but depending on how your eyes are and that, it may not be appropriate for everybody, so I will make it optional. So I'm going to click my default black and white and switch white to my top foreground color. Go to my paintbrush, and I want to make sure I'm on a soft brush with 100% opacity and 100% flow. And then I'm going to size this down so that it looks like eye shine. And I have a little white spot right there in her eye where that didn't feel exactly right. So I will use that spot for my eye shine. Normally I would put it maybe up here, but I'll go ahead and keep it here. So my eye shine is going to be down here, right at the bottom. It's going to go partially over the pupil of the eye, and I just click one time. Okay, and then the placement of the eye shine on the other eye needs to be in pretty much the same spot, because when you're looking at something and the light is reflecting off your eye, it will reflect in the same spot on both eyes. So just like that. And then if I can zoom out a little bit, you can see what that does. And it just really kind of wakens up her eyes. I can turn it off. You can see it without it, and then with it. So that, if you have time, that adds a really nice touch. So at this point, my composition is all done. I'm going to save it and submit it.